Hello, everyone, and welcome to Burn the Ship, the podcast that helps entrepreneurs go all in on their business, and we introduce them to professionals that can help them to do so. Today, we have a very special guest, MJ. How you doing today, man?
Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Peace and blessings to everyone. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself and the name of your business.
So, I'm MJ, and I own a company called Elite Extreme Production Agency, LLC. It's a film and television startup.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah.
And we understand that time is one of our most valuable resources.
Yes.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit about your journey.
So basically, been in the film and television industry 19 years now. Started in the IATSE in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're located 19 years as a prop maker. I came in the IATSE 479, which is the union. Basically, I spent my union dues, my tax money. I rolled the dice. It was $1,000 to get into the union 19 years ago. And when I did, they don't get you a job at a union. You have to get your own job. So what I used to do, I used to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, drive to the city of Atlanta and try to find a production, right? Anyone. And I would lie to security that I was on the show, and they would be like, well, what are you doing here? I'm like, hey, I'm working for construction. You know, can you point me to the department? And they were like, okay. I got lucky, met some people. Real quick story. I was at a hip hop mixer, and my Louis Vuitton, and dressed up with some nice gaiters on, and a gentleman started my career. He contacted me and said, hey, would you like to be, still work? This was 6 months I tried to get this job, guys. I just want to make sure I'm clear. I'm at a party. This guy calls, hey, I need your help. I'm like, great. When can I start? He said, right now. I said, what do you mean right now? He said, if you're going to get in this business, you have to be prepared. You need to come right now. So I'm like, well, I'm not prepared right now. I have my skins on.
Right.
I have, I'm silked out. I'm fly. He's like, it doesn't matter. So he sent me the address. To God be the glory. I was 5 minutes away from the location. Nice. So this was all divine. So my friend was like, I talked to my friend. I said, hey, listen. And he was in the industry already. I said, should I go? He said, absolutely, because you might not get another call. Mm-hmm. I went. Just a quick story. I get there. I'm in my skins. It's surreal. This is the first time in my life I've ever been on a film set. I don't know if anybody has, but it's surreal. And I'm sitting there at this table, ready to eat some pizza, and somebody tapped me on my shoulder, and it was Anthony Hopkins. Oh, nice. Silence of the Lamb.
Yes.
And he said, hey, what kind of pizza do we have? And I turned around, and I was like, you're Anthony Hopkins. Like, you're the Silence of the Lamb. He said, I am.
Yes.
I said, well, what kind of pizza do you like, sir? He said, pepperoni. I looked for a pepperoni pizza, and me and Anthony Hopkins on my first show I've ever done in my life sat and ate pizza at the Crafty table.
Man, that is amazing.
19 years
You should have said, it would have been fun if you said my favorite pizza was fava beans.
Oh, fava beans, right.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, and a liver.
Yes, he did it. But now, what you said, prop creation. You're in production.
Oh, right.
I know that was 19 years ago. But before that, what happened to make you have such a creative bug? Because you're creating art is what you're doing. Is it something where when you were younger, you were in plays and stuff like that? Tell us about that.
I'm originally from Philly. I was in the music industry, actually. I started there. I could rap back in the day. I was one of those guys that walked around with the boombox on your shoulder.
Okay.
We had the linoleum floors, and we used to just drop it in neighborhoods and beatbox. And my grandmother said, what is it? What exactly are y'all doing out there? You're gonna kill yourself. And now hip hop is everywhere. But yeah, I was in film. I was in music. I did little commercials for the local radio stations back then. I did a lot of battles. When I say I was on tour with LL Cool J. I don't know if you young people know this. EPMD, Run DMC. I did shows with them. I would tour with them. I was a assistant road manager at that time.
Okay.
I learned a lot of things business wise. It wasn't really a lot of money in it. It was just more fun.
Yes.
This was maybe 22, 23 years old, on the road, just having
Living
fun.
life. Yeah, living life, learning.
Fast forward, moved to Atlanta, and that's when I got in film and television. And I will say this, film and television pays way more better. It pays on time. That would be my recommendation to anybody who wants to get into the industry. If you get the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, the skill set, and whatever you want to do in that craft of film and television, and you get down with a good crew, you'll eat. You'll have a sustainable lifestyle. It's great. It's wonderful.
Excellent. Now, you were in the music, you were doing
Yes.
your thing, you were spinning, rapping, and then at some point, something had to happen. An event had to happen to make MJ burn his ship and go all in on the film industry. Was it a specific thing that happened that made you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take this shot at it?
That's a real good question. That's the first time anyone's asked me that. Thank you for that. You're gonna make me get a little bit thought, but let's see. I would say just taking a chance, just taking a risk. Like I said, I spent $1,000 of my tax money. My ex-wife at the time did not understand that, but just a leap of faith.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Having God say, you know, this might be, I just felt it in me that I can be, you know, successful in that field. I think I was oh, by the way, I want to piggyback real quick. I helped Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I don't get any credit for this, so I'm going to tell you this on camera right now. I helped the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith, and Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince help make Parents Just Don't Understand. Yes, I did. They didn't give me no love on that, but I did that. Okay, back. Fast forward. I'm going to get them right now.
Yeah.
20 years, 30 years ago. 30 years, anyway. No, just a leap of faith. The Spirit said, try and, you know, look out. Basically, I got you. The Spirit said, I got you, and keep it moving.
Okay.
So that's really what it was, honestly.
All right.
Yeah.
So we fast forward to now. You're inside of your production business.
Right.
Tell us all about it. Tell us what you do, who you're serving, who you're looking to get in front of, and how we can connect you with other people.
So what I do now, okay, so I started as a prop maker. I went from that to a special effect technician, to God be the glory. This is all 479. Now, when I say special effect technician, I blew stuff up. I work with Marvel. I work with the franchise of the Fast franchise. I was there when Paul passed away. I blew up stuff. I learned how to make bombs, all kind of good stuff. So that helped me in a position to understand different ways of skill set. I was just blessed to be with the guys who made Transformers. I was blessed with the guys who made just a lot of stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, the list is endless. So that knowledge took me to, as I was a special effect technician, I went to a show. I'm not sure if you heard of this show. It's called Satisfaction. It was on a Fox a long time ago. And I got hurt on that show. And I hurt my back. I went to the hospital. And then once again, the Spirit came and said, hey, listen, I'm going to let you start a company called Sovereign. Sovereign, I was the only minority company in film and television in Georgia. And what we did was we serviced all of the production's locations. So here's an example. I'm sure that the viewers have wonderful homes. I'm sure you have a wonderful home. Well, when production comes in your home, sometimes they ruin it.
Okay.
You might have marble floors, whatever the case is. So what my company did was we would protect the edifice. We would not the production, but just your house. They would contact us to make sure that we had special rugs or whatever on the floor to protect the floor. We put protection on the walls. We put protection on your kitchen counters. So that way, when 200 people in production come in your home, when they leave your home, it's the same as when they got there.
Right.
Well, I started that company. That was a blessing. I did that company 10 years. At the time, like I said, I was the only minority owner of a company like that. I was the only company outside of one competitor in Georgia. So I collected. I might have partnered with every production you can think of. I have partnerships with Tyler Perry, partnerships with Netflix, Prime, HBO, you name it, I've worked for them. I was a contractor, vendor. So based on that, they would contact us, come out, and then we would do the services. But it wasn't enough. The Spirit said it's not enough. So what I did was I generated more services. Okay, so on the service that we did initially, what was called location protection, we pretty much, I have a general cleaning service. I added on a commercial cleaning service. What that did was if production needed the floors waxed, so that the camera hits and the floors are shining in the school, we would buff and wax the floors in the school. We also did a valet trash service, which is when they do construction work on location, they would contact my company, we would come out and pick up the trash for them and dispose of it. These were different multiple services that we provided, so that way I cornered the market, if that makes sense. The last service we have a location service where, just like this location right now, we would partner and say Netflix called and said, or Marvel said, I need a podcast. I need an office space that looks like this podcast. They would call my location, and then I would partner with you to make sure that you get what you need as far as what they're going to pay, because they try to get you every time.
Yes.
And they'll come out and film here. You'll get paid just for them to be here on your days off. So I have that service also. And everything was amazing. I had 43 employees that worked full time for me for 10 years.
Okay.
We did a phenomenal job. Then I jumped into, once COVID came in 19, we lost a lot of clients, not just based on COVID, but people just died. It was kind of crazy that a lot of my clientele just passed away.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Then we tried to reinvent ourselves in 20, coming back a little bit. The industry went back. Well, 2021 came. They started to do the striking. We went back under. The industry went back under. There was no actual work, but in the corporate aspect, there's plenty of work in independent. So if you're an independent production, independent producer, anything independent, there was work, but it's not prevalent enough. It's not a lot of money in it. So you would have to get into the back end of it, and that's where I am right now. Elite Extreme Production specializes in pretty much helping to conceptualize. So if you, as a writer, coming out of college, or if you're a writer, right, and you came out of school, but you don't know how to formulate an actual script, my company helps you put together the script. We tell you what programs to use, how, because some people will bring you a script in a composition book.
Yeah.
That's not how a script is wrote. So you need to understand how it's wrote. My company helps develop that, or put that together. Once that's done, we go into development. So here's how it works. We have discovery, which is conceptualizing a script or an idea. Then what we do is we go to second phase, which is development. Development is putting it all together, putting the script together, producing the script, getting you the funding to produce the actual content, taking you, helping you. We can do it because I have a production company, but just going around doing all that kind of stuff. And once it's in a can and once it's ready, we go and distribute it. We have partnerships with Tubi, Netflix, Prime, HBO, pretty much any network that you can think of, any streaming platform, we have partnerships with. So we can take the same idea that you started out with, develop it, produce it, and distribute it, all in the same situation. Okay. So that's where we are now. In addition to if you have existing content, so let me just tell you something.
Yeah.
Because you have many different, I'm sure that this particular Burn the Ship, and I was told that you have another show. What is that called?
Soup Sandwich.
Soup Sandwich. Now, check this out. That's existing content. Well, if it's in an archive, or if it's on YouTube, or if it's on something that's not generating any revenue, I can help you get it on those actual platforms like Tubi or Freevee, so you can get generated revenue on old content that's not ordinarily, right now making any money.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
we specialize in that.
Okay.
And now I can get into that in detail if you want to contact me, but it's a way. It's called an aggregator program, and the way that it's set up now, Tubi set up on an ad-based process. Are you familiar with that?
I am not, no.
All right, so the way it works is if I take your content now, Burn the Ship, and I present it to Tubi, say we just using Tubi, and Tubi says, you know what, we don't have a platform for podcasts. This might be a good breakdown. This might be a good browser or a good situation. So now, when we upload it, when we go through the deliverable process and put it on, now the ads, you have Popeyes, you have your credit, everybody is coming in and saying, you know what, I want to buy time on this slot. So what that does is they share that revenue, ad revenue, with you as the content creator. You split that with Tubi. So now everybody gets a piece of that ad revenue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
so you're looking to get those creative people who have the ideas but don't know what to do with the ideas. It seems like because there's plenty of people out there that are in their bedroom, they're writing things down.
Oh, for sure.
But they have no clue of how to structure it.
Absolutely.
So you're coming in, putting some structure behind it, all the way through the point where you're getting them in front of the people who can make a decision about creating it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've done it currently right now, and I don't have a list in front of me. I have 25 shows on different platforms. So I have shows on Tubi. I have shows on Prime. I have shows on Netflix. I'm negotiating some deals now with Food Network. I have some food shows. Okay. Oh yeah, and what happens is I generate revenue as I go to sleep, and that's what we want. You want to be able to utilize your time and energy, because that's all we have. That's the most valuable thing in the world. That's more valuable than anything else. So I want to be able to be in a position to generate revenue while I'm sitting around with the family. I'm generating revenue now having this podcast.
Yes.
That's how you want to set it up.
Yeah.
So and we have the capability of doing that for those who are serious about it. Some people, it's just it's something to do.
Right.
If you're serious, but because I know tons of writers, they just don't understand the business end of it. They don't. They believe that, okay, well, I can just write this and now somebody's going to buy it, and all of a sudden it's going to the movie. It
doesn't work that way. It's a process behind it.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And talking about process, you have been through a bunch with your creative when you were doing your music, your dancing, your production in the movies, the prop sets. And I am confident, MJ, that over time you have acquired specific business skills that have helped you to get to where you are. Multiple businesses, still successful.
Yes.
Do you mind sharing with the audience that's watching today a couple of those business skills that have helped you to be successful?
So on the business aspect of film and television, we all heard the term or the phrase or the tag, show business. Well, really it should be in reverse. It should be business show, because 90% of everything you do is business. Just understanding the breakdown of how production works. Me, I'm a film producer now. I'm what they call a lead producer. I could have been. I have done executive producer work. An executive producer is someone who brings the finance to the table. Whoever is doing this now for the podcast, that's the executive producer. I did that. I had to learn what that capacity was on the ground. You learn everything. Of course, you can go to YouTube. Of course, you can go to different books or school. But on the ground, you learn more because it's fluid. It's actually happening at that time. So what I've done is I've sat back and learned what a producer does. A director. Here's a perfect example. I thought directors actually direct, the entire production. That's not actually what a director does. Director directs an actor.
Okay.
They're trying to get the most out of this actor for whatever scene that is. I had no idea until I got into the industry that was the case. Other people do the production part. You have a AD, which is an assistant director. He makes sure that everything is going smoothly for the director. But then there's a guy that I'm not sure if everybody knows this, and I'm trying to think of. He watches everything. He's the guy. I can't believe I cannot remember this acronym. Oh my God, it's anyway. Basically, for me, everything that I've ever learned, the skill sets, prop making, special effect technician, production, has all been on the ground.
Okay.
I can elaborate on each part of it, but that's how I learned. I learned that way, and now I can speak the language because there's a language in everything that you do. And now people take me seriously. They like, oh, okay, and I have credibility as far as, I've done a lot. You know what I mean? I got a website. You want to be able to develop that. They have what they call an IMDb. That is a database for all the things that you do in the film industry. That's very important to have because it's sort of like a resume builder.
Right.
If you have that, people take you more seriously. There is no one in the film and television industry without an IMDb. If you don't have it, people don't take you seriously. There are ways to get that. The way you do that, you have to be on a call sheet. If you're not on a call sheet in production, you're not on a real production, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like you're not in the lineup, basically.
Absolutely.
You're assisting, but not in the lineup.
Right.
Okay.
And like I said, everything for me, I didn't go to school. Just so we're clear, I never went to actual film school. I never did any traditional. I was blessed to be when I did music. I have friends that are in Philadelphia who was connected to the film industry, like a good friend of mine. I call him my brother. He's a manager for a very successful artist. He helped me understand that business, just walking around, hanging out. Yeah. When I got here in Georgia, the unions helped me to develop the knowledge that I had. I saw an opportunity to develop my first company with Sovereign, and I went for it. And then I learned how to negotiate deals in the industry. I learned how to sit in front of Tyler Perry. I say Tyler Perry all the time because people know that name better. And I literally, just like me and you right now, I negotiated deals in front of this man. Some people are intimidated by that, but I'm on a check.
Yes.
I'm trying to get to the money. I'm from North Philly, so I don't have time
to be concerned about that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, I definitely appreciate you sharing that. It sounds like you're telling the entrepreneurs that are watching today they need to immerse themselves into it. They need to get some of that on-the-job training. That's where you really see the rubber hit the road and just get into the business. There's going to be times that you have different events and you're going to be successful and you're going to have mistakes, but that's the best way to learn. And as you were sharing it, I was thinking like you're learning another language.
Right.
So if I'm learning Spanish or French, I need to immerse myself into that, and that way I can learn it better than just
People are
being on the outside?
intimidated. What I tell people, and I did not mean to interrupt you,
No, you're
but
good.
what's important is to know that you are in control. Okay. I say this to everybody all the time when they come to me and they're like, how was you able to do that? You are in control at that time, in that timeline, at that moment. So there is no intimidation because you're the person who is going to set yourself up. Is there things that can help? I mean, I'm sorry, that can not go right? Absolutely. Critical thinking, everyone, is the best course of action when that happens. If you have critical thinking, then there's no situation that can say, "Oh my goodness, I don't know what to do." Critical thinking is great because that helps in the when you're okay. So when you're in control with critical thinking, equals a great result because it's never going to go the way you think it is production wise in your just think about it. You walk in your cubicle, you thought your day was whatever it was going to be, your office or whatever. And it was not being that at all. Literally, it is not exactly what your thoughts are. So everyone has these skill sets. Everyone, if you're in a capacity of customer service, if you're in a capacity of, just like you said, immersed in whatever, you have to be able to say, okay, how can I think outside the box in order to get to where I am?
Yes.
And that's in any level. In film and television, any person that's behind the camera, this gentleman now, that's the editor, he knows this. Right now, to God be good, it's not going to happen, but here he's going. Everything goes off. He would have to understand critical thinking of how to turn it back on, edit it back to where we were, and get this back to where it is.
That's right. That's right.
And real quick, he may not even know that, but he'll figure it out.
Quick. I'm hoping very quickly, but I have confidence. I got confidence in you.
But you understand what I'm trying
yes,
to say?
Yes.
This is what it is.
Man, I definitely appreciate you sharing those things because it's important for people to understand where you came from,
Right.
what you're currently doing now, and those business skills are just prominent to what they need to be doing.
Yes.
And I appreciate you sharing that. Now, I want people to understand that MJ is a human. Yes, he is a production master.
Right.
But let's just say that time and money is not an issue at all. What is it that MJ would do with this time?
So I have a lovely person that I spend enormous amount of time with. I don't like her a lot most of the time, but I spend time with her just because. No, I am my family.
Okay.
Point blank. Period.
Okay.
That's it. There is more joy. Let me back up a little bit. I am personally happy with myself. I think that regardless of the outside, going on vacation, having family, you have to actually love yourself. So that's the first thing you need to do. First thing you have to do is be okay with yourself. You have to be okay with the mistakes you make. You have to forgive yourself. And then once that happens, once you're happy, you emit a lot of happiness and joy around others. And then once that happens, your environment becomes relaxed and peaceful. And then you can be able to find your tribe, find the people whomever that is that you hang out with. My significant other, my beloved, has a tribe that I am finding out. They Zumba people, and I will tell you that I have never. Everywhere we go, I don't care if we're in a laundromat and there's 20 of them, and we're all washing clothes. That was the idea. The idea is to go to the laundromat to wash clothes. These people will formulate a Zumba party in the laundromat. This is true story stuff, okay? I don't care where we go, to the church, wherever we are, and I love that. So I want my life to be that way. I want to just be spontaneous enough where I'm just going somewhere to have a cup of coffee, and next thing I know, we're out in the middle of the street you know, it is totally not what I expected. It has been like that. So that's it. Really just enjoying life, family, faith, all of that good stuff, my brother. Good meeting good people like yourself, my brother.
Yes. I definitely appreciate you sharing that, because it's not always easy for people to share those things. You know, they keep it close to a vest, but you got so much happiness inside of you and surrounding you that you're all good over there. Now, if people are having questions about, hey, how can I get my script going? How can I even create something like that? Or they want to talk about some of those business skills that you shared, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
So right now, my direct line, that's the easiest way. I can give my, 470-449-0329. And I'll even do my email, which is Jackson, JACKSOM, at S as in Sam, O as in Oscar, V as in Victor, B as in boy, P as in Paul, S as in Sam.com. I'm transitioning. I have some, I don't really like social media too much. So you can direct line me and we can discuss, whatever you like to do in the future, for sure.
Absolutely. And we truly do appreciate you coming on today, sharing with us about your journey, your story, about those business skills. And we always like to honor our guests by giving them the last word. So please look over at your camera and tell the people something good.
Love and abundance to each and every person that's on the camera and out there. I'm just going to say, just keep it moving. I understand we are in a trying time at this moment. So I would recommend that you, like I said, just stay grounded in yourself, love yourself, and love others. Be kind to others. Lastly, I have a little sister. Her name is Butter B. Rocker. And I want everybody that's in the film industry to get into this BBR Indie Films. It's called BBR Indie Films. Okay, look it up. I won't go into it, but I would love for y'all to check it out. She's an amazing platform for new creators. If you have content already existing and you want it on the silver screen, the big screen, she can do that for you. BBR Indie Films, check her out. Other than that, peace and blessings. Love and abundance. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on today with us, MJ. We truly do appreciate that.
Yes.
And to everyone that is watching the show, be kind and thanks.